Hey there, happy artists, and welcome back to Kyle Heath Art. In this video, I'm going to tell you all about how to draw a rose. And to start off, the most important thing that I can tell you is that don't think about drawing a rose. What the heck do I mean by that? What I mean is, when you're drawing anything, you need to think of that thing as composed of big shapes. So when you're looking at a flower, you want to see the big, large contour that defines the whole shape of that flower. Once you've got that set, then you can focus on the medium-sized shapes that define that flower. And then you can keep going over and over again for as long as you want to, getting the small shapes, getting the details, getting the lights and shadows. You can take that as far as you want to. And if you do it forever, eventually you'll have a 100% perfect drawing of a flower. But oftentimes, 2 or 3 passes like this, big shape, medium shape, then smaller shape, is going to get you an incredibly believable, lifelike, and also energetic looking flower. The worst thing that you can do is to dive right in on one specific detail and just work on a single petal and then work your way across the whole flower. By the end of that, you're probably going to find that it looks very wonky. The left side is way bigger than the right. It started drifting or melting away as you focused on the details. And the reason for that is because when you're drawing, you want to have as big of a scope as you can while you're drawing the thing. You want to focus on the big shapes. If you get the big shapes right, then you're going to sell the flower. It's going to look like a rose. Now, a flower is a great choice for beginning artists because you don't have to get it 100% right for it to look like a flower in the end. When you're drawing something like a human portrait, if you get those eyes wrong, everybody can tell. With a flower though, it still looks like a flower even if you haven't matched every single angle perfectly. That makes this a great low pressure piece for your regular practice. Now, I talked about dividing your drawing into 2 or 3 specific stages. So let me tell you the details of how I'm doing that with this flower. For stage 1, my focus is on the big, broad shapes. I'm drawing very lightly with my pencil so that I can go over those lines later. And while I'm drawing, I'm trying to use my arm as much as possible. A lot of times we use our fingers and our wrist too much, and that's great for when you're doing fine detailed work, but when you're doing a first pass, use your arms as much as you can because that's going to give beautiful gestural strokes that look confident and lovely. On the second pass of a drawing, the name of the game is refining the shapes. I'm finding the medium shapes within the subject, and I'm also refining some of those gestural strokes that I made on the first pass. I'm adding in the curves and details that'll make it look like a flower petal. And then once I'm done with the second pass, I have a contour drawing of my item. All the lines are there. And from there, my third pass, I can add in light and shadow, which will define the form of my flower. When I'm ready for the third pass of my drawing, I squint at my subject and I try to figure out where are the lines that define the lights, the midtones, and the shadows of my object. This is critical for expressing a realistic form that looks like it has volume, that looks like light is hitting it at certain angles and other angles are exposed to shadow. And squinting helps with that because it simplifies everything before you. If you look at something in full light, there's an infinite number of shifts between light and shadow. But as an artist, your job is to simplify. So squint down and then you can finally start breaking down your subject into just 3 distinct values: lights, midtone, and shadow. Then just draw the lines that divide your lights, midtones, and shadows and fill them in. I strongly encourage you to draw some flowers this week as part of your art practice. They're a great low pressure way to get in some great drawing time without having to worry too much about the specific details. I would love to hear about what you drew this week. Write in the comments the subject that you drew. I can't wait to read it. And if you want to see the full video of me drawing this in real time and talking the whole time about the process of art making, you've got to join my Patreon. I've got a link down in the description. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you have a great week, and if you like this video, I think you'll like the two on the right as well. Take a look at it and let me know what you think. Happy art making!